Okay, sir, start.
Okay. Hi, good evening, guys. I'm really sorry about the incident that we had today. Because of the metro construction that is going on Gurgaon near my home. I was stuck in the traffic and could not make it on time, so that's the reason we are late for today. I was standing on one particular location for more than 15-20 minutes. So let's get into the action now. We already kind of understood two things. One, in the first class, we talked about the overview of Google Ads interface. Then the second class that my colleague Aman took on Friday, we discussed few important things about the overall Google Ads campaign. Before we go ahead, can you tell me if you can hear me clearly? If everything is audible to you, is there any issue, any problem in hearing me? Just let me know right now so that I can adjust the speaker. I'm not using the mic today. You can see the mic is sitting on the besides hand on the right hand side. If you are not able to hear me clearly, just tell me now. If you can hear me clearly, say it in the chat box and then we'll go ahead and start our class for today. If you are able to hear me clearly, just tell me now. Tell me in the chat box if you can hear me clearly. Alright, so let's continue. Then I think, yeah. So, two, three things before we go ahead. First thing first, you need to understand the different campaign types. I think I explained broadly what are the campaign types. We have a few objectives, so these are important for you to understand. These are two primary objectives or most important objective, which is the sales and leads. So 90% of the campaign that you run on Google will fall into these two categories. Website traffic is not a usual campaign that everyone wants to run. It is especially for people who sell event tickets, people who want traffic on their website for certain reasons, want to have a visibility of something. That is the only reason for you to use the website traffic as one of the objectives. App promotion is special campaign where you promote your app and get the downloads for apps. But mostly these are the two objectives that 90% of your campaign will go with. Then same applies to awareness and consideration. If you really want to, let's say you launched a new brand and you want to build an awareness campaign around that, only then you will use this campaign objective. Local store is more focused on the local ads or local businesses like retail stores. You have a store in a particular geography, you want to target a certain radius, so that's when you use this as one of the campaign objectives. But for our understanding purpose, these are the two campaign objectives that are most important, and this is what we will go with. Sales is the direct sale which happens through Google, so you for that you need to track something called purchase action. uh, I lecture this guide, I don't need to actually go through it. Then lead generation is basically similar to purchase but not same as purchase, because the tracking mechanism for both sales and lead is quite different when it comes to Google Ads. So sales is straightforward. You get people to buy from you. You pay, they pay online or they do a COD purchase, and Google is able to track the purchase value, item that has been ordered, and mostly it's 99% of it is applicable for D2C brands. 5% can be B2B also, where you get bulk payment online, right? Lead generation, there are two problems that Google has to solve before lead generation could be successful for you. One is the lead quality, and second is what is the quantity and what CPL or cost per lead that you're paying. And for that, there is something called offline tracking and signal engineering. So these are a little bit advanced topics. If you really want to go in depth into Google Ads, then we also have a community where we have all the courses. So we'll talk about the community maybe after the basic class is over. We'll discuss that, what is the benefit of community and how you can join and access it. But right now, let's go with leads as objective and click on continue. We are working on the search campaign today. So there are, once you have selected an objective, for every objective, this and these two objective, you get the same level of campaign. So you have search, you can achieve your sales objective with search, also performance max, demand gen, video campaign, display and shopping. Similarly for lead generation also, you get the same number of campaigns. So these are different campaign types. So this is the campaign objective. So either of this you will choose depending on what you want to do. Do you want to have direct sales where people come and buy directly on your website, or do you need to generate leads and then there is someone in your team that needs to follow on those leads? So we'll go with the search campaign. Any questions so far, anything you want to discuss? So in the search campaign, you have to select where you want people to land, right? So do you want them to land on your website? Website visit is your primary objective. Then add the website link here. So this is my website, launchwithai.com. I'll copy the URL and I'll paste it here. Do I want people to call me? If yes, then I'll choose phone call as an objective. Do you want them to visit a store, which is kind of an offline store? Do you want them to submit leads? Then you will choose the lead form submission. By default, you go with one primary objective and one secondary objective should be your focus. You don't have to choose everything that is available in this. Now, campaign name has to be strategic. So there are few naming conventions that you need to follow. One is, assume that you will grow to a level where you will have hundreds of campaigns. Some campaign might stop, some campaign will continuously run. But in both cases, you need to do some analysis, some reporting, and understand every campaign. So one rule of thumb for naming convention is that you should be able to identify the campaign type, objective of the campaign, when it was started, who was the target audience, by just looking at the name, just one glance at the name, and this information should be clear to you. So that's the thumb rule. Now there are different ways to name a campaign. You can so lead search one is default name that Google will give you, and that is one of the way of judging how effective you are as a search marketer. When we see any new campaign, any new client that we onboard, this is the first thing we notice about effectiveness of that agency. So if you're really good at what you're doing, you will obviously give it a proper name. So this is how I usually name it. So it's a search campaign, so I can call it SC or search. Usually when we start a new brand or we are working for a one of our clients, we use our first initials as a signature. We'll call it GRQ search. Then this started in December 2025, so December 25, and this is search campaign. December 25 it was started and it's ongoing, or maybe it is like 15th Jan, or whenever maybe we want to try something new and we will stop it at 15th Jan, or we can say ongoing. So this should be the kind of a naming convention. So you don't have to follow my syntax, you can come up with your own syntax, but 2-3 things should be clear. One is who created the campaign, if there are multiple people working on the same account and using the same thing. So in our case, since we are working an agency, there may be other agency who worked on clients campaign in past, so we want to add our signatures in the name. Second is what type of campaign is it? So it's a search campaign. When is it started? It started in December 2025. Is it an ongoing campaign? Yes, then you write the ongoing word. Okay, do you want to stop the campaign in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? Then you mention it accordingly. So these are some of the rule of thumb that you should follow when you are naming a campaign, but it is not necessary that you follow the same syntax that I am using. So that's up to you, totally up to you. Now continue. Here there's something called bidding. So right now I'm explaining you the process of creating a campaign, and in this process bidding is one of the important element. So we will not be able to complete the search campaign today. We'll focus on understanding what really bidding means and what are different bidding strategies and how you choose which bidding strategy to go for. What are some of the thumb rules that you should understand and apply when you are choosing a bidding strategy, and why is it important, and what is a bidding strategy first of all. So this is something that we need to understand. If you look at here, there comes 4 bidding strategies which are default, but in total there are 6 bidding strategies. I'll talk about all of them. So conversion is when you are not sure how much value it will create for you, you choose conversion as an objective. So sales should by default should have conversion value as an objective, because you want to give the actual value of your conversion. But in case of lead generation, you don't have a conversion value. So lead generation, let's say you generate 100 leads for a real estate client, and you have 1% conversion, which means one person will buy. Now that one person is paying you 10 lakh rupees. Now out of 100, one person paid 10 lakh rupees. Do you want to use that as a benchmark and say that my value for one conversion is 1000 rupees, because 1000 multiplied by 100 is like the value that you got, right? Sorry, it's 10,000 rupees. 10,000 into 100 is 10 lakh what you got from one client, one conversion. So do you want to assign a conversion value? That is not necessary in case of a lead generation campaign. You can simply follow the conversion as metric. So choose conversion if your action is that you want people to go on your website and take certain action, then conversion should be your objective. If you're selling directly to your customers, then it can be conversion value as well. So these are 2 objectives, primary objectives that you have. Then click is only when you want people to visit your website and not necessarily take action, especially when you're running a completely new campaign with zero history. Then click is one of the objective that you can go with, and it will give you an option to maximize click also. Then impression share, this is critical for you to understand, especially the lead generation campaign. So when you have a very limited search impressions, let's say there's a keyword something like Zoho implementation partner. So we have one of client who is sells Zoho services. So if those are the number of searches that you have, then you need to get maximum impression in those searches, right? You want to appear every time somebody is searching, because only then you will be able to convert. If you go with conversion, you may not be able to get that many eyeballs and Google's because of that. In fact, we'll discuss the bidding strategy as one of the topics in detail. Now if I choose maximum impression, then do you want, so let's understand this first, then I'll go back to conversion. So when you say that you want to have the maximum impression share, there are 2-3 things that Google want to ask you. I'll let you understand what is an impression share. So let's say I search this keyword Zoho implementation partner. I search this in Google. You got one result which is this company CRM Master. This is the sponsored result. Then you have this company. Then these are 3 ads. So in total, if you look at this search result page, there are 3 results on top, and then there are 3 results in the bottom. In total, for this keyword Zoho implementation partner, you have 6 ad results, right? 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom, right? Now let's say I choose this option where I say I want to appear on top of results page or absolute top of result page. What is the difference? Top of result page means that you will appear in these three, anywhere in these three. If you choose first option which says anywhere on the results page, that means you will get the impression share. You will always appear for this keyword, but you can appear here in these top three, or you can also appear here. So this is the definition of anywhere on the page. Then there is second option, that is top of result page, which means you will appear here in these three, anywhere in these three. Then the third option that says absolute top of result page, which means you want to appear in this slot for this keyword. You want to appear here. That is the only option you want to choose. Whenever you appear, you want to appear here, right? And then you will get this data in your insights to how you want to appear here. Now it says that percentage of impression share to target. Do you want to appear on absolute top 100% of the time, or do you want to appear at, let's say, 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%? So you can choose any percentage of share. And then there is something called maximum CPC bid limit. That means how much you are ready to pay for each click if you are appearing on absolute top. How much you are ready to pay for appearing anywhere. So either of these options you choose. Let's say I choose this as one of the option, and I want to appear on absolute top 60% of the time. How much maximum cost per click I am ready to pay? So that depends on a lot of things. You will need to have some historical data, but by default you try to give maximum number. Otherwise what will happen is, if this number is below your bid limit, if Google is not able to show you on the absolute top result page, because the maximum bid that Google needs to have, the minimum bid that Google needs to have is 500, then you will not be able to appear, because then your campaign is kind of misconfigured. You want to appear on absolute top of result page, but you are not ready. Your bid says that you are only paying, let's say, 40 rupees or 400 rupees, but the CPC bid that Google need for you to appear on absolute top is more than 500. Then you will not be able to get the impression share, or campaign will not deliver at all. So that is something that you need to understand. This is the detail of impression share. Now clicks. So I was talking about 6 bidding strategies, right? So you want to, the moment you set maximum CPC bid limit, this kind of becomes another bid strategy. If you want to just maximize the click, then you don't choose this option. You can simply choose this option, and Google will start focusing on getting more clicks to your campaign. Do you want to set up a limit? So how much can you pay for one click? Let's say you want to pay 100, or maybe 50, maybe 20. So the moment you assign a limit, the moment you assign a number to this kind of becomes a manual bidding strategy, which was earlier one of the options. Now Google is more focused on conversion and conversion value, or as two primary bidding options, right? So we understood two bidding strategies. Impression share. Any questions about impression share, guys? Any questions on the impression share part? If you don't have any questions, then I'll go ahead and discuss the convergence. Now same rule which we discussed about the impression share applies to conversion also. Do you want to get the conversion at any cost? If the answer is yes, then you don't have to set a target cost per action. Initially, when you are starting a new campaign, you should never set a target cost per action, because you don't really know what would be the CPA, right? But you want the campaign to run. So you don't really set a CPA target when you are just starting a new campaign. If the campaign is already running, you know what is the CPA that you're paying, then you can decide that yes, this is the range I should go with, and then you can add a value, add a amount here. Same is true with conversion value also. So you want to get maximum conversion value. And what is your target ROAS? You want to get at least, let's say, 120% ROAS, or 10% ROAS, 20% ROAS. So you can define your target return on ad spend. So return on ad spend means this is the value that you need to get. Conversion value divided by ad spend multiplied by 100 is your target ROAS percentage. And Google has explained this with an example also. If your goal is to get an average of $5 sales for $1 that you spend, that means you want to have a 500% return on ad spend. So let's say I want add 200%. That means for every rupee that I'm spending, I want to get at least 2 rupees back as my sales. That is my target ROAS. But this applies only when you have a conversion value as one of your bidding strategy. So you want to set a target ROAS here, right? So that's the rule with conversion value. So we understood conversions. We want to add in case of lead generation campaign only, but we want to decide the target cost per action only in the case when we are not really when we are sure that yes, we'll be able to get conversions in this rate, and that should happen only after you have been running the campaign for a certain period of time, right? Similarly, for conversion value, you set a target ROAS, but you also need to supply the conversion value. Then let's say all the conversion value, conversion, click and impression share bidding strategies are clear to you. Now the next option here you need to understand, Google says that do you want to focus your bidding strategy to help you acquire new customers, or you want to focus more on existing customer. So if you're starting with a new account and you have a zero data, you don't choose this option. Once you start having a lot of data in the account about your existing customer, then you want to choose this option. And if you choose this option in new account, you will see this warning here which says to use customer acquisition as one of your strategies, you need to include at least 1,000 active members from your customer list. So if you don't have a customer list, then don't choose this option. If you have a customer list, then only you get into this setting. So when you're starting a new campaign, just keep it like that. So don't even touch this option. Once you have an active campaign and once you have more than 1,000 people as one of in your customer list, then you can choose this option. You want to bid higher for new customers, which means Google will try both your existing customers, but it will bid higher to get you new customers. But if you want to only bid for new customers, that means all the existing customer will not be targeted. So whoever is part of this list, they will not see your ad if you choose this option. If you choose the first option which says bid higher for new customers, then you need to set up your customer list here. Otherwise, this campaign will be kind of misconfigured. And here you are basically defining value. So you are saying that this is additional, I am ready to pay for a new customer if you just want to acquire new customer in addition to the existing ones, okay? But this is an advanced strategy. So by default, when you're setting up a new campaign, you don't really bother about this. So conversion value, conversion, click, impression share, we understood so far. Now this is your next page, and here we are talking about something called network. So there are two options here. One says Google Search Partner Network and Google Display Network. So what is the Google Search Partner Network? Let's go to something like ask.com. So ask.com is one of the Google search partner. So if you search here, let's say you search here old mobile. Let's say you search something like this on ask.com. You see these ads. These are the ad coming from Google. Though you're not searching on Google as search engine, you still see these ads. These are coming from Google because Google is a sponsored partner, and this company Soft Glues, Whole Monkey, Digit Card, they have chosen this option. Okay, so only when you choose this option you get your ad visible on these partner websites. Okay, this is the first option. Second option is Google Display Network. So Google Display Network, let's go to something like, just dial, maybe just dial has or OLX. So when you have a search campaign and you also choose this option which says Google Display Network, Google will convert your what happened to Alex? Google will convert your search ad into kind of a display ad, not exactly the banner, but somewhat similar to a banner that you create for Google, and it will show somewhere here. Once maybe some partner website might have it. OLX does not have search ads right now, but let's see if just dial as I'm not sure just dial is still a partner or not because they are kind of independent search engine now. So you will get your search ad somewhere here, but in form of a banner. So you will see something similar to banner, a headline, a title, a description listed as part of banner, display banner in a partner website. So when you choose the option 1, you get on partner websites like ask.com, because those are the search engines. Difficult you can appear on YouTube also. When you people are searching on YouTube, your ad might appear in the search result. When you choose the display, then you appear on websites like this as search result. Let me try stuck. Maybe Aztak is one of the partners for search. Let's see. No, I'm not able to see on Aztak also. But there are similar partner like this. So there could be partner like OLX, just dial out Aztak, and they will show your ad in Google search result. So Google has millions of search and display partners. By default, when you are appearing in these result, there could be lot of wasted ad spend also. So if you are a very big brand, or if you are a marketer who is working with a large brand and their job is to become omnipresent or get maximum eyeballs for every search happening everywhere, then you can go with this option. But if you are starting small, then uncheck both the options. You don't have to go with your network partner or Google Display Network when you are a new company just trying to set up your ad account. You have to choose these options, uncheck these options, otherwise you'll end up wasting a lot of your budget. This is a very careful choice that you need to make. Okay, next thing is, in the search campaign there is something called locations. So there are multiple location options here. You have all countries and territories, which means if you choose this, your ad will appear everywhere in the planet. Wherever Google search is happening, your ad will appear there. If you choose a particular country, let's say if you choose only India, then your ad will be visible only here. If you enter another location, then something like let's say you choose Bangalore as locations, then you click include, then your ad will only appear in Bangalore as a location. Let's say you want to exclude another city, so within Bangalore there could be Koramangala. So Koramangala is in Bangalore, maybe a neighborhood in near Bangalore. You don't want your ad to be visible in this location, so there could be multiple use cases like that. So one use case is, let's say you are running a ad for a car dealership, right? So there is a car dealership that operates in whole of Bangalore, Then there is a dealership that operates only on Car Bangla, and they both are selling a same brand's car. Now it could be possible that the person who is running ad for Bangalore, he may have an agreement or he may have a binding agreement where other dealer will restrict him from running ads in his locality. So he will have to do this exclusion. So this exclusion means your ad will appear in whole of Bangalore, but it will not appear in Koramangala. So that is important for you to understand. Now let's understand some advanced search options also when it comes to location. So you have chosen Bangalore, and if you see here, we have excluded this locality called Koramangala within Bangalore only to make sure that your ad is visible in entire Bangalore as a city, but it is not visible in this location. Now let's say that your dealership or you are running ad for a salon or something similar, and it is not a big salon. It's something where you want to target people who are coming from a locality. So by default, if you're running ad for gym, you're running ad for a fitness center, you're running ad for a salon, then you don't go pan locations, you go in a radius. So you go, let's say you choose a business and you enter a place name here as a, I choose any so beauty salon. So I can choose any kind of location or business location or beauty salon. If I add in general, I might get some location options. Bangalore. So this is Thanusri Men's Beauty Salon somewhere in Krishna Nagar in Bangalore, right? It's one of the business. Then you have something called Kai Beauty Salon in Vijayanagar. I want to include this. So that means I have chosen this business, and default option is that it is appearing in 20 miles, but we all know that nobody will travel 20 miles or 20 kilometers for say, you can choose kilometers also, 20 kilometers to get an haircut, right? Nobody will travel that location. So what you can do is you can modify your searches, and instead of 20 you can choose, let's say, 5 kilometers. So your radius will be redefined. You will only be your ad will only be visible in 5 kilometer radius from your business location. So every direction, 5 radius means each direction in these 5 kilometers. Or you want to choose a location, you want to enter a location, then you can add a location here. It will give you an option to both include and exclude. So why do you choose include and exclude? Let's include Koramangala. So let's say you want to show your ad only into people who are in the Koramangala area, in the Koramangala locality, but you don't want people in, there may be some overlapping, right? So you don't want people to see your ad, people who are in the BTM layout, you don't want them to see your ad. BTM layout. Let's say this is the pin code, you don't want to see the ad. So entire BTM layout, Google will ensure that your ad is never visible here. See, by default, if this is your radius, this is the target that you have, then anyway it is not supposed to appear in this location. But sometime there might be situations where there is a lot of overlap. Let's say you choose Jayanagar and there is some boundary of Jayanagar like here, and you have a use case where you don't want people from Jayanagar to see your ad, then you will choose this, exclude this as an option, right? So this is how include and exclude work. You can try including and excluding from your city to understand it better. Now, if you want to add locations in bulk, you can have either pin code or country, postal code, cities you want to add. Maybe you create an Excel sheet or notebook file and you can add all the locations in bulk. This could be conditions where, let's say, you have a coffee shop like CCD or Starbucks and you're running ad, or maybe for Domino's you're running ads, and there are thousands of locations. In that case, you'll have to add the location in bulk if you're running a same campaign everywhere. So Google will give you an option to add the location in bulk. You can use it from like Excel sheet, Notepad, anywhere. Just add the location. You want to restrict campaign within a country, then you can use this option as well. So let's say you want to add certain countries here, and then you want to also restrict certain locations in a country, then you can exclude those locations after you have added the location in bulk, right? This option is only available when you are adding locations in bulk. So in the location tab, we understood four things. We understood the radius targeting, we understood locations, we also understood how to choose country and city and all that. Then there is some option here, this is critical. So first option says presence or interest. So let's say you have a restaurant or you have a hotel. Now if you target people who are only present in your city, let's say I have a hotel in Bangalore and I want to target people who are visiting Bangalore, then what will happen? I will choose this first option where either people have shown interest. So let's say I have something like hotel in Bangalore as one of my searches, but I am sitting in a location called Gurgaon. So I'm not in present in Bangalore, but I have an interest in Bangalore in booking a hotel in Bangalore. Then if you choose this option, your ad will be visible to me, right? But let's say you are a saloon. If I type saloon in Bangalore, I'm not most likely going to travel to Bangalore to get a haircut, right? In that case, if I choose the first option, your ad might be visible to me when I'm sitting in Gurgaon. So be careful with the use case. If you are a hotel or restaurant, you might want to target people who are visiting Bangalore tomorrow, day after, or 5 days, 10 days, 15 days after this. Then you want to choose this option. If you want to only target people who are right now in that city, then you choose this option. Sometime if you end up choosing this option, then your client might say that my ad is so people who are coming, I am seeing the location, somebody is not in Bangalore, somebody is in Hyderabad, Chennai, Mumbai, Pune, and they are still seeing my ad. It is because of this setting. So if you get this, then you have to update or change this setting. Now language, by default you should not worry too much about language until and unless your content is completely regional and you want to target regional searches. By default you should uncheck the option and you want to target all languages. That should be your default setting, and the reason for that is that most likely people will search the keyword in that particular language only, right? And so if your ad is in English and if your searcher is searching an English keyword, your ad is visible, then you don't have to worry about the targeting of language because it does not have a huge impact. But let's say your ad is in Telugu and you are targeting only people who are searching in Telugu, then you obviously need to choose the language. Then you might also need to restrict people who are searching in different languages. Now how does Google decide which who is that language person? So there are three options. One is the language setting that you have in your mobile. So what language you have chosen while you're configuring your mobile. Second is what language do you have in your browser setting, and what language content you often consume on Google News, Google Discover and other channels. So these are 3-4 ways in which Google decides which language do you speak. And next could be your search language also. Somebody is saying is it mandatory to use impression value for lead generation? Not necessary, Sankar. You don't have to choose impression share for lead generation campaign. Only if you have limited searches, then you have to choose this option. Let's say you get 30-40 searches only for a particular keyword. It's a very important keyword. So if you go with conversion, Google might show your ad only to 1 or 2 people. Then you lose every other potential lead, right? Because they have not seen your ad. In that case, impression share, choosing impression share is one of the strategies that you can use. Maybe you say that 100% of the time for these searches I want to appear in the search result. Okay, next there are few more settings: audience segments, then we have ad rotation, start and end date, ad schedule, campaign URL option, page feed. So right now we have discussed bidding, we have discussed network, we have discussed location options. That's all I want to discuss today in the search settings. Tomorrow we'll focus on next areas and complete the campaign level settings for our ad. We'll talk about audience segment and how do you apply audience segment in a search result, a search ad. We'll also discuss the ad rotation and why start and end date is mandatory, and ad schedule, why is it important to have a proper ad scheduling, and there is something called schedule sculpting or time sculpting as we call it. We'll discuss that. That's slightly advanced strategy. So we'll have a class tomorrow to discuss these next level of campaign settings. To recap, we have discussed few things today. We discussed the bidding strategy in detail. We talked about campaign objectives. We also discussed location and network settings, why this particular network setting is important, and we have also understood the language setting, why language setting is important. These are the things that we will discuss tomorrow: audience settings, ad rotations, start and end date, ad schedule, and everything else. Then we'll go to ad group, keywords. These are the next things: keywords, ad groups, budget, review. So this is the entire search campaign setting that we will discuss. Keyword is very critical. Maybe we'll take 1 more days to complete. So in total we'll need 3 days to complete the entire search campaign. Okay, all right, so make sure you subscribe to the channel and be regular in this class in order to understand the importance of search campaign, and we'll take it from where we left today and go ahead with our class tomorrow. All right, thank you so much for joining, and I will see you in the class tomorrow. Thank you so much. Good night. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video.